Hello guys, I'm Gunilla. I work here at Lake Missoula Tea Company. We're gonna do a steeping tea talk. So we're gonna do 3 teas that really shows how temperature and time and equipment affects your tea and the taste of your tea. To begin with, I'm gonna come here with a little taste. It's the same tea. And we'll see if you can figure out how it's been brewed,
Oh gosh, I'm sure not.
if it's the temperature, if it's the time maybe. What do you think? And I'll say it's a High Mountain Oolong. High Mountain Oolong is one of our top shelf teas, and it's a rolled leaf type tea. One is steeped in a steeper with plenty of room for the leaf to open up. It's the same temperature and it's the same time. And oops. The other one is steeped in a tea ball where it can't open up. You do not get the full flavor. Some of them is still kind of hard. And yeah, you can see big difference in how the tea leaves can open up and you get the full flavor out. So some teas are not suitable for tea balls. Like I buy this tea here and it's amazing, and then I go home and it does not taste the same. Black teas need hot water to get the flavor out. Green teas need low temperature, otherwise it gets bitter, super bitter. Some people like it, some people don't. And then the water source, if you use your treated tap water with chlorine and other chemicals that can leave a smell or a taste, that can affect your tea. The level of oxidation, so black tea is oxidized, green tea is not oxidized, and oolong is an in-between. Black tea tends to have a longer steep time than green tea is shorter because it's not oxidized as long, yeah. And the surface area of the tea, CTCs, which we call like finely cut tea. Like some black teas are super fine and small, and that will brew fast compared to the roll type leaves that need plenty of time to open up. So we have some black teas that can be done in a minute, and these will need at least 3 minutes to 5, yeah. And then, yeah, the quality of the tea, of course. How you store it, how you, yeah, what you call, if it's not good tea to begin with. Your brewing equipment. Steepers, big steepers with ample room to, for the leaves to open and get all the flavor out versus the tea balls where...
So they really beat up the leaf, and it essentially looks like a tiny little pebble or pellet, and it has a ton of surface area, so it'll,
release their
really quickly.
Really quickly. Clean steepers, if you drink a lot of different teas, so if you leave a bunch of cinnamon chunks in your tea ball and then you want a nice cup of oolong afterwards, then your whole cup of oolong will taste like cinnamon. And time. Time. Green tea, short time. Black tea, longer time. Herbal, at least 7 minutes and longer. So I picked 3 teas that kind of have all of it going on, combined. So we're going to do the honey bear first. I'm going to do it up here too, so you can see. And then we need to share all the tea so everybody tastes it.
So this tea is a rooibos blend, which is not actually a true tea. True tea is Camellia sinensis, is one kind of plant. Rooibos is actually a plant from South Africa, unrelated, but it's been used as kind of a tea replacement or a tisane for a really long time. This tea, specific tea tisane that we're giving you, has a little bit of fenugreek and bee pollen and then the rooibos.
Okay, so the first one, you're going to have 2 temperature waters. So one is 175, one is close to 200, 212. We're going to pour it in at the same time and steep them for the same amount of time, with colder water and hot water. And then the third cup, we're going to pour boiling water when there's 4 minutes left on your timer. So someone's got to keep an eye. So when there's 4 minutes left,
The pressure melts.
you just pour the last one up, and then when it beeps, you just take all the baskets out so it stops steeping. Okay?
How many of you are new to the tea tastings? Oh yeah, a fair amount. All right. We do these every month. They're on something different each time. Sometimes it's a country, or like a steeping style, or a type of tea. Changes every month. The last Thursday of the month. And then, how many of you actually know much about Missoula Tea Company?
We know what you've told us so far in the other classes.
Yeah, the tea tastings. Okay. We've been around since 2012. Jake and Heather Krylik own this business, and we get to help out and try to make stuff happen. And one of their focuses is going to these farms and actually getting to know the farmers. So we're kind of unique in that we do direct sourcing for most of our straight teas. So I think later on this year, they're going to be going back to China. Earlier last year, they went to Colombia, and that will be some of the teas that you'll try tonight are actually from that farm, which is pretty exciting. And then this one is from South Africa. We also have some from Kenya, where they got to visit as well, like the CTC style that she was talking of, the black tea, that one's from Kenya. Another thing is that we love to do education. So anytime you guys want to come in, we'll answer any of your questions. You want to know anything about tea that we know, we'll gladly pass it on. You can also get on our website and check out the blog, which we have all sorts of postings on there about health benefits of tea or tea from different regions, anything you want to know. And then what makes them all different is the way that they're processed. So the same tea leaf that you pick in April can become a white tea, a yellow tea, a green tea, a black tea, a pu'er, or like a dark aged fermented tea, depending on what you do to it. So we're going to try a green tea pretty soon. And the unique thing about green teas is that they pretty much immediately, what they call is kill green. So they stop or halt the enzymes that make the leaf turn dark or oxidize. When we say oxidize, it really means that not to get too sciencey, but the cell walls of the plant have been ruptured and it's exposed to oxygen. Just like a banana, if you bruise it or you peel it and it starts to brown, it's the same thing with tea leaves. With black teas and some of the others, they'll actually intentionally bruise it by rolling or the cut, tear, curl style, or twisting. And that would shift it into more of an oxidized state, so it becomes a black tea. When it becomes black, it typically becomes a little bit more mellow in flavor, which is why you'll hear a difference between, or taste a difference between greens and blacks if you'll do it at a different temperature, is that the greens, there's so much tannin in there still, it hasn't really mellowed out. So if you do it at a really high temperature, you're going to get most of that tannin rather than all of the aromatics. Whereas a black tea, it's been bruised and beaten up and kind of mellowed over time. So the tannins kind of relax and you can do it at a higher temperature. And then there's more categories also that, you get into fermented teas and all sorts of other ones. But that's kind of the basic 101 of tea leaves and their styles and types. Yeah. How are we on?
Right on.
Perfect time.
Some of them you won't be able to taste a huge difference. Some of them is more drastical. The boiling water will force out more of the flavor, like it, yeah. And the low temperature is, it just doesn't get the flavors out. Same when you make soup, like if you would cook.
What if it was like right under boiling?
That's okay, yeah.
Okay, so it's not the boiling factor,
Isn't
it's
it-
just the temperature.
It's the temperature,
okay.
yeah.
And so for like with the green tea, you're not necessarily supposed to boil. You shouldn't boil the
No,
water.
that's our next tea that we're gonna try.
So this tea has a little bit of fruit in it too. It's called the rainforest green because it has soursop, pear, and guava that all come from Colombia as well. Like this farm directly sources those. What else? Oh, this green, I believe that they must maybe either steam it or it's something to do with the region where it's grown. It has a little bit of a steamed kind of marine flavor to it that you may have noticed in Japanese green teas. Have you guys had any Japanese green teas? Well, it's wonderfly balanced with the fruit in this one. What's the perfect amount of tea to water for the perfect steep? So if you're doing a British style, which is typically more water, less tea, and for a longer time, then you'll do 2.5 grams, which is about a teaspoon, per 8 ounces of water. These are 6 ounces, so we're doing 2. If you do more of like an Asian style brewing, they'll do a lot of tea, more like, I don't know, 8 grams for a 6 ounce portion of water. And then they'll do it for really short times, like 30 seconds or 5 seconds, and then keep building. But right now we're doing a British style.
And the last thing I'm gonna say also is the right tea is the one you like.
Yeah,
So all this is just guidelines
no, it's,
and
you can
some pointers, but
feel
you'll
it more in your mouth.
and some
too.
people really like that bitterness and crave it. Yeah. So and then of course then that's the right tea for you. And to loop back a little bit to the factors here, can you like recognize some of the factors that I mentioned on this piece of paper with time and like if it's big leaf or small and all that stuff.
This tea that you're about to try comes from India, from a farm called the Naxalbari estate. And then it also has some botanical spices in it. There's ginger, I believe maybe some cardamom in there, a couple other things. And the name, Scheherazade, you've probably heard from 1,000 Arabian Nights story. But it's also the name of the horse of the owner of the tea farm. So that's kind of fun. I named it after that horse too. So,
The way you brew your tea is the way you like it, and that's the right way for you.
But it's interesting to know.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah,
Especially with the green tea
Yeah.
and the herbal.
yeah, yeah. It's just to show how much flavor the changes. And if you like the weak one or the strong one, yeah.
I like them all, actually.
thank you guys so much for coming. And next month is going to be Japanese teas. So he'll be talking about his trip to Japan last fall, I think it was. And we'll taste a bunch of different ones. To check out our blog, you can get online and read about it. Also a general steeping guide. So I'll give you guys those.
Thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
So you can see the farm.
Guys.
Thank you for being part of our tea team.
Yeah, thank you.